Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Just Good Games. So today we are doing another tier list, and this tier list is video game consoles. I've been looking forward to doing this one. I've pretty much had every console here. There's only one which I pretty much haven't, well actually two or three, but there's sort of ones which are similar to something which I had, so I'm able to rank them. But I'm so looking forward to this. Obviously with the tier list you have S, A, B, C, D and E, and I've got not owned at the bottom, which I'm going to put in the one which I haven't owned obviously, and I'm looking forward to doing this. So before we crack on, obviously I would like you to go down there, hit that subscribe button please, hit the like and share this everywhere, as I know you want to. We're closing in on 500 subscribers soon, so please help us get there. This would be cool. Right, let's crack on, and we're cracking on with the Nintendo 3DS, which is a cool obviously variant on Nintendo DS with the 3D section, which sort of worked. It did work, but I don't think it sort of added much to it. Consoles are quite hard to rank, because how do you rank them? Do you rank them on like success? Do you rank them on sales, games? Do you did they fail? Like, we're gonna find out how I feel about this, to be honest. But the Nintendo 3DS, we're gonna stick in B now. Now this next one, I don't know what that is. There's probably, I think it's something to do with Atari, but I don't know, or a Sega. Well, but I've not owned it, so let's just go in not owned. Next we had the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast is a very underrated console. It had like Shenmue on it, Shenmue 1, Shenmue 2. It had, I think, the first Soul Calibur on it. It had Sonic Adventure, and then I think it did have Sonic Adventure Battle 2 on it, but don't hold me to it. But it was a very underrated console. Obviously the death is more associated with the death of Sega, but I thought it was a good console, and I'm actually going to stick it on the same level as the Nintendo 3DS. I'll probably get hate for that. People probably like, Dreamcast has also been in the top. It was fantastic. What are you going on about? Right, pardon me. So I believe this is the original DS, and I think the original DS deserves to go in an A, as I think it was better than the 3DS and just one of the biggest selling consoles of all time. I think the biggest selling handheld console of all time, possibly above the Game Boy, but don't hold me to it. But next we do have the Game Boy SP. I had one of these. I thought I had a Game Boy Advance and I had a Game Boy SP, and I thought it was alright. It didn't really bring anything new to the table, so I'm just going to put it in the C. Next we have the original Game Boy, like a revolution to handheld gaming, and I think it's obviously the younger brother of the DS. The DS obviously took over, and I think they both deserve to be in the A together. GameCube, one of my favourite consoles, and this probably will be good, probably going to get controversial, but I will move it about. But the GameCube for me, not a lot of mega games, but what we got was fantastic, and that's the problem with the Nintendo consoles. It's like, it's quality over quantity, and so for the quality, and I know people didn't like the handle on the back and the mini discs, but it was just Nintendo being Nintendo and just going against the curve. So I am gonna put the GameCube in S for now, but that could get moved down later. Game Boy Color goes in A with its handheld brethren, probably at the top. I had a Game Boy Color. Well, I got Pokemon Red with it when it first came out. Couldn't put the thing down. I think my parents had to set a time limit because they just wouldn't put it down, because it's like handheld and it doesn't have to be on the TV and you can just sit there and play it. Wario World 3, just a really good fun console, and yeah, A is right for it. Right, this is the Sega. It's either the Genesis or the Master System. I'm just gonna Google this, because I did have a look after it before, but I just couldn't get it. I'm pretty sure it's the Master System. Or is it the Genesis? I'm gonna say it's the Genesis. One of the two. I did know this. Well, the Genesis is pretty much the Mega Drive, so if it's the Mega Drive, then it's definitely going in B. I don't think it's on the level of, like, it's great 2D console, and I've probably said it's the wrong one. I will just have another quick look. I don't really want this video to me just be looking at my phone to find out what the pictures are, and I should have done this before. That is That's the Genesis, right? Yeah, so that's going in B. So the other one's the Master System. Excellent. I did look this up before, but I completely forgot. So yeah, we got the Genesis there, which is pretty much the Mega Drive, and I had a Mega Drive, so that goes in B, my first console. Right. So we've got Nintendo 64. Well, everyone's got to see my Nintendo bias now. You can already see, like, it's dominated by Nintendo so far. We do get to Xbox and PlayStation soon. 64 is going in S. What more can I say? It's Nintendo 64, Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium. It's just, I don't know why I put Pokemon Snap on the level of them games. It's underrated classic. Next we have the NES. Now these older consoles, it's like, do I put them in for nostalgia, or do I? It's really difficult to do consoles because, like, if you do it on like pure tech, then the newer ones should be higher, but it's also on obviously quality of the games and quantity of good games. But I'm just going to put the NES in the C area, and then I might move the Game Boy SP down to D. This will all get moved about later, I think. I'm just going to sort of gauge it. Right, so we have, that is the the PS Vita. This is difficult. I think the PS Vita, unfortunately, as much as it like had some good games, it just didn't get the support. No one really bought it, so it did, and then it didn't get the games. It probably had some good games on it. I didn't have this one, but I didn't have it for long. So that's going in D. The original PlayStation. Again, nostalgia. Does it hit in? Does the original? Oh, because now we've got the PlayStations coming up. Now this is where it gets difficult, because the PlayStation 1 was fantastic and one of my third console. Mega Drive, 64, PlayStation. Yeah, so it was my third console. Some of these, obviously, I'm basing off like playing games on emulators sometimes, but only a couple of them. But PlayStation. It should be above the Dreamcast, and it should be. I'm gonna put the original. Oh, it's like because I know what's going in S. I know some of what's going in S. That's difficult. I'll put it in S for now. I've got a feeling Cube's gonna move down at some point. PlayStation 2, definitive, best-selling console of all time. Tons of amazing games. That's top. That's in S. That's going in there. PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 is a weird one because I think I'm going to put the PlayStation, because it had some good games. You had like The Last of Us, the Uncharted series, and I did have it. And then you had Resistance was really good as well. It sort of started the exclusives, which would then go on to the PlayStation 4 and become, the PlayStation 4 would obviously become a success. And I'm going to put it in C. It might be too low, I might move it round later, but C seems about right for the PlayStation 3. It wasn't a success, it wasn't a mega success, it wasn't a mega failure, so it just sort of sits in the middle. PlayStation 4 might be recency biased, but get up in that S tier, just below the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 4 has been an unmitigated success and will go down as one of the greatest consoles of all time. The quality of exclusives, it's modern, so the graphics are good, the support has been fantastic. I can't, the PlayStation has been the best console of this generation, and by miles, until the Switch came out. Right. So we're gonna go for the original PSP, and again, where have I put the Vita? In D. I think that should go in the exact same place as the Vita. Very similar. Next we have the other Sega console, which is the Master System, which I think I personally didn't prefer it to the Mega Drive, so I think the Master System whacks into the C there. You're probably all going to disagree with me. People are going to be like, the Master System was incredible. And then next we're going to come to another controversial one, which is the SNES, which I'm going to put the SNES in B, because I think it was better than the NES. SNES. Yeah, SNES, bottom of B, looks about right. This might not be bad. I might not have to move as much around. The Nintendo Switch is now the hardest one to rank because obviously you've got the Xbox One and you've got the PlayStation 4, which are right at the end of their cycle, so it's very easy to judge. The Switch is right in the middle, and it's had some really good games so far, but there's not been a mega amount. It's a fantastic concept and it's a big seller, but does it deserve to go in S yet? I'd have no doubt that in about 3 or 4 years' time, I will, if the quality continues, I will be putting the Nintendo Switch in the S ranking. But for now, it goes in A. With, as I said, so difficult to judge something in the middle of its cycle. The Wii U, I think, is quite an underrated console and obviously paved the way. You can see it sort of paved the way for the Switch, and it was just a marketing failure because they should have called it something else if they wanted it to be another console. So I could only put that. I think it's like level with the PlayStation 3, so that's a C. The Nintendo Wii, like, does it go in S? It's a great seller, had some great games on it. But the novelty eventually wore thin. It had some quality titles, and it, but graphically wasn't the best compared to even some of the maybe the generation before it. I feel like it deserves to be in the A, top of A. Yeah, that's about right. I don't think it's on the level of the things I've put in S so far. This next one is the Xbox One. Now, where do I put the Xbox One? As it started off so well. Well, it didn't start off well. It started off badly, got better, got worse, and has slowly got a tiny bit better at the end. But at the end of the day, I think Microsoft will obviously see the Xbox One as a failure. Overall, I think it's on PlayStation 3 that then PlayStation 3 have better exclusives. I'm going to have to put the Xbox One in. I'll put it at bottom of C because I don't think it deserves to go in D. Don't think it deserves because it had some good titles. 360. Get in the S tier. Get in that S tier. If people put me a bias to Sony, it's only because I know Microsoft can do consoles well, and Microsoft killed it with the Xbox 360. It's one of the best consoles of all time, and they should have built on that success. And next, we're at the end. We've got the original Xbox, which I only had briefly. It was good. Obviously, started Halo, had Oddworld, the Stranger one on it, and it was a good first chop into the first sort of Microsoft dipping their toes into the water and then taking the plunge. That's a really bad analogy. I want to put this in B, along with the Dreamcast. I think it's an underrated console, to be honest. And there we go. So let's have a quick look at this. So in D we have the Game Boy SP or the Game Boy Advance SP. They obviously didn't put the Advance in there, so that's sort of in that. PSP, PS Vita. I know there's a lot of love for the Vita, but I just don't think it's as good as some of them. You've got to accuse. Well, there's not a Nintendo bias here because I've got many PlayStation. I've got every one besides Sega has got a console in the S tier. Then we have C. We had the Wii U, PlayStation 3, the Xbox One, and the Sega Master System, and the NES. That makes sense. Maybe the NES should go higher. Below the SNES, yeah, because the NES wasn't a failure. All these consoles in, I don't know as much about the Master System, but the 3 consoles we've got in C, in the Wii U, PlayStation 3, and the Xbox One, are all sort of the failures of, not like mega failures, but all sort of the worst console of the big 3 now. And then you can look at, obviously after the Wii U came out, Nintendo hit back with the Switch and it's amazing. The PlayStation 3, Sony hit back with the PlayStation 4 and it was amazing. And hopefully with the Xbox One Series X or Series X, then that will be Microsoft's hit back. So I have hope, but that represents sort of the low point of all 3 of the big companies. So C is about right for all of them. Then you have B, you have the 3DS. I'm moving the 3DS down. I was never a fan of the 3DS. Sega, Dreamcast, original Xbox, the Genesis slash Mega Drive, the SNES and the NES. Yeah, because you got the good old school ones in B, which I don't think deserve to be above. So that's cool. Then we're going to do A is the Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Switch, Game Boy Color, Nintendo DS, the Game Boy, all cool, all there. And then S, the God tier, PlayStation 2 definitely, PlayStation 4, PlayStation, Xbox 360, Nintendo GameCube and Nintendo 360. So thank you for making it to the end of this video. All I need, you probably disagree with me by the way, so let me know in the comments below. I will, all I need you to do now is hit that subscribe, hit like, share on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and once again you've been watching Just Good Games.